Josh here from netmark.com, here today to give a tutorial on keyword intelligence for premium users. We'll begin the demo today by jumping over to the Adwords keyword tool. This is a great tool. We use it as a basis for collecting even more information and then making decisions about specific websites, their campaigns, and how we move forward on a particular campaign. There's some data that won't come through if you're not logged in, so make sure that you're logged in to your Adwords account or to a Gmail account. You'll want to minimize this Saved Ideas bar and click both exact and phrase. It's broad by default. And then you'll want to make sure that you don't have ad group ideas, that you have keyword ideas highlighted. So I'm going to start by typing in a few keywords that Netmark would like to rank for. So I've got a good diverse list here. I'm going to go ahead and punch in search. Now I've got 30 search terms here from the 10 that I entered in. Remember, I have 3 match types for each term: broad, exact, and phrase. Take this. The first thing you want to do is click Save All. Okay, so we've got 30 saved ideas. If you add additional terms, just make sure that you grab all 3. So let's do one just to show you as an example. I want to make sure that we grab all 3 match types. If you don't get all 3 match types, the tool will not render the right information. So we'll go back up to the top here, hit download my 33 ideas. There's a couple different file types you can download as a CSV for Excel, a CSV, TSV, XML, or a gzip CSV. Right now, our tool only works with CSV. Sometimes it's CSV for Excel by default. It depends on what you've downloaded in the past. But just make sure it's CSV and you'll be fine. Go ahead and download. Okay. Right now we're going to jump over to the Netmark tool. Now we're on keyword intelligence. The very first thing you want to do is decide whether you want exact match, phrase match, or broad match. So we'll say phrase match for this example. Put in the targeted URL next. Okay, you can include the www, you don't have to include the www, you can put in the HTTP, or you don't have to, it doesn't matter. We fix it so that it's the format that we need it in automatically when it's entered in. Choose the CSV file and hit Generate Report. Okay, it looks like our report's been generated. It takes a few seconds for the report to run. The more keywords you have, the longer it takes. As a premium user, you're limited to 500 different key terms. Now, we only have 11 here in the list, even though we imported 33, and the reason is because we're only reporting on the phrase match type, which is what we selected up here, but we use all 3 match types to create the information in the table here. So we'll start by looking at SEO. Let's go through it column by column. The first column is GGMSV, Google Global Monthly Search Volume. This is a really interesting box that pops up. If you hover over this cell, you have the Google monthly search volume, global, 7,480,000. Then we have the total. This total is an extrapolated figure based off of Google's known market share. So that includes all of the search volume for all of the search engines that are out there. And then we include the long tail guesstimation associated with the head tail that we've ran reports on right now. This particular key term has 7 million Google global monthly searches. Among all the search engines, we're guesstimating about 11,600,000. And then if you include all the search engines and all the long tail associated with this particular term, we're guesstimating close to 19 million monthly searches. And then we go over to this next cell. This next cell is GLMSV. That stands for Google Local Monthly Search Volume. You can see it's quite a bit less. Local is local to a specific country. We had selected the United States, and so there's 1.5 million searches per month in the United States. Total, again, would be all the search engines, and then long tail would be all of the search engines plus all the long tail derivatives of the word SEO. I forgot to mention that we have a qualitative metric too. We have this as high, so this is a high volume keyword. That means there's a lot of search for it each given month. And you'll see the same thing on the global level. it's pretty infrequent, but we can have something say high on the global level, but maybe moderate on the local level. Depends on the country and how many searches we're seeing in that specific country. Okay, here's the cost per click data provided by Google. Again, in the box we've assigned a qualitative metric. So here we have high, 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 moderate, extremely low. We have the competition on a scale from 0 to 100. So this is how competitive it is in the Google AdWords market. This is the keyword value. We assign a value to a given key term based off of all this information that we're able to collect around the web. Now, this is one of the most important columns in the tool because sometimes we look at a key term and we think it's a key term that we should be going after, but what we find out later on is that there really wasn't a lot of value, that maybe it's a more informative word or just not a word that triggers a buy decision. So we've gone in and we grab a lot of data and we assign a keyword value, and then in the box you'll see that we have a qualitative metric to accompany it. Again, this is logarithmically based, and so from 0 to 100 it's harder to go from a 99 to 100 than it is to go from a 9 to a 10. Okay, SEO clout. This is kind of a fun column to look at. This data that we are showing you right now is pulled in through Whois and through SEO Moz, and we do a side-by-side comparison. So you have the top 10 competitors in Google and the URL that was entered into the tool. Now when I say the top 10 competitors, we do throw out the outliers. So we're not swaying the results with maybe a Wikipedia page or something like that. And so we throw out the outliers based off of the information that we gather from the top 10 competitors. But this will give you a good understanding of what's different between your website or the URL that you entered in and the URL and the website of the top 10 competitors. For instance, netmark.com has a domain authority of 46.07, the competition 81.38. So that's the average of the top 10 competitors minus the outliers. Look at the total links. Netmark.com has 5,023 total incoming links. The top 10 competitors on average have 31,772. SEO Clout is our own proprietary algorithm. We gather lots of different data points in order to interpret this. Okay, search engine optimization 79.22, where the competition is 79.22, while we're at 58.27. Okay, same thing for social media clout. We're gauging things like Facebook comments, replies, likes, shares, Twitter tweets, and so you can see a side-by-side comparison between our domain and the top 10 competitors, and you can see that we're actually doing better than the competition on average for this particular term. Okay, rankability. This is a basic measurement of how well the sites on page 1 are set up to rank on page 1. And again, it's just a comparison type metric. So you can see that the competition for the word SEO is 74.62, where our URL is 56.71. Or if we go down to search engine optimization, the average competitor there is 76.61, where we're at 56.71 again. So we need to increase our rankability score about 20 points in order to rank on page 1 for this particular key term. Okay, seasonality, we gauge this. Want to know if it's moderate, high, low, very low, extremely high, and it's fairly common to see a pretty good diversity here. This is based off of the data that's pulled in through the CSV. We can see that a word like search engine optimization pricing is very seasonal, where a word like pay-per-click in general just is not a very seasonal key term. It's pretty consistent all year round. Okay, and then here we price the campaign, each given word. Now this is kind of a neat thing because this is based specifically off of the URL that you entered in. If we type in a different URL, we'll see a different price for this particular key term here. Now here's a brief overview of Netmark's statistics, our rankability, our SEO clout, social media clout, and then the total campaign cost. Now this 89,092 is not the sum of this column. You'll notice the sum of this column is actually quite a bit higher than this total campaign cost right here. This takes into account that there are overlap between some of these key terms. Going after the word SEO and search engine optimization, those two terms are really the same thing, just different ways of saying it, and there's a lot of overlap. So we can utilize the same pages on page to rank for both terms, and the incoming links for those terms. Maybe we can utilize a variety of different anchor text that incorporates both search engine optimization and SEO, and so the total here accounts for the overlap between these key terms. Okay, over here on the project report, you'll see that we've dissected the budget even further. We have the off page and we have the on page, and then below that we have the exact requirements of the campaign. So in order to rank on page 1 for all of the above terms, we're going to have to build at least 63 Facebook comments, 117 Facebook likes, 423 Facebook shares, 534 stumbles, 611 delicious bookmarks, 1 Reddit link, 1 dig, 0 LinkedIn shares, and 16 plus ones. So a total of 1,767 social media units. This is the project time allocation for on page. So we've got it set up into managing all of the link building, existing pages, working on all of the existing pages on netmark.com. We've got the hours assigned for all of the new pages on netmark.com. CRO, CVM, so conversion rate optimization, conversion value maximization. We allocate time to that because we're very business-minded individuals. We know that it's not just increasing rankings, but it's helping our clients to sell things, whether they be services or products. And in order to do that, we have to implement some CRO strategies and some CVM strategies at a very minimal level. Now, if the client signs up specifically for CRO or CVM, it becomes much more intense. We dedicate many more hours to this particular part of the project, but here we have allocated roughly 5%, 7.5%-ish of the time we're going to work on conversion type strategy. We have communication and reporting, a budget for that, and a budget for our monthly analysis and upfront analysis. So we have 135 hours for analysis, analytics reviews, webmaster tools reviews, competitor reviews, and then other marketing discovery. We want to make sure that we're always working in our clients' best interests, and so we dedicate some time to look for additional opportunities for our clients. Now, one of the things that's really cool about this report is that we include a backlink distribution based off of what we know about an organic link profile for a given domain. And so you can see how many directories deep we should be linking to with the total number of links. And by the way, the total for this particular campaign, 53,743. That's how many backlinks we need, netmark.com needs, to rank on page 1 for these 11 terms. Okay, so this is how many directories deep we need a link to. So 16,000 links to the home page, 13,000 links 1 directory deep, 10,000 links 2 directories deep, etc., etc. Now we come down to links per domain, and you can see the distribution here. So we'll start here at the bottom. 12,630 links can come from websites that have 10 links or more pointing to our domain. 1,612 incoming links can come from domains that have 10 links pointing to our domain. And that's true all the way up to the top, where we have 10,749 incoming links where each domain that's linking to us is only giving us 1 link. Okay, so there's the approximate distribution of links per domain. Link proximity, so this is telling us how many other links we can have on the page within 300 characters of the link pointing to our page. There's pages on the web where there's 300 different links on a given page, and that's all that page is just a bunch of links pointing out to other pages on the web. Well, we're looking, and we think that Google's looking at how many other links there are within a certain number of characters of a given link, and so 21,000 of our incoming links can't have another link within 300 characters. 13,000 links can only have 1 other link within 300 characters, etc., etc. This is the anchor text distribution of the 53,000 links that we have to build. 6,718 need to be the keyword that we're trying to rank for in exact match type. keyword phrase, we've got 6,987, so I'll give you an idea of a keyword phrase. SEO is a keyword exact match, but maybe SEO company. I don't see SEO company on the list, so we'll say that that's a phrase match for the term SEO. So we've captured the term SEO, but we also added company to the end, and so this is meant to create variation of anchor text. Brand specific links, so brand specific would be netmark.com, site intelligence, keyword intelligence, things related to netmark.com specifically. Brand phrase match, again, same thing, brand with some other terminology, maybe site intelligence for websites. Keyword and brand, 6,180. URL, so that would be www.netmark.com or netmark.com, and then we have 8,061 allocated to other forms of anchor text. Okay, now we're going to jump down to page authority. We start at 0 all the way to 80 on SEO Moz's page authority scale. Here's the distribution of links from this level of importance. We stop at 80 because it's very uncommon to get a link from a page that has a page authority of greater than 80. Text versus image links, here's the distribution, the number of text backlinks, the number of image backlinks, followed versus no follow distribution, direct versus redirect, so these 53,000 links should come in directly to this particular, to our website, and then 269 should go somewhere else and then be redirected to us. This is the number of unique referring domains, the number of unique referring IP addresses, and then the number of unique referring Class C subnets. Okay, now we have a total of 53,743 backlinks. All of this is a guide to allow us to know how much time we should spend on page, how many new pages we need to create, how much time we should spend on those, how much time we should spend optimizing pages that already exist, how much time we should spend doing social media type activities, how much time we should spend doing conversion rate type activities, and then most importantly, how many links we need to build and the approximate distribution so that we can look very natural in our profile with Google. If you'd like to save this report, you can go up here and you can export it as a CSV. If the pricing seems like it's a little bit out of reach, you can always change it. We do anything from 1 month all the way to 60 months. You'll notice the requirements of the campaign change as you change the duration of the campaign. So let's do one just as a test here. We have 534 stumbles. If I were to change this to 36 months, I went from 534 stumbles to 631. Why? Because 534 stumbles is how many stumbles I would need to rank on page 1 a year from now, but 631 stumbles is how many stumbles I need to rank 3 years from now, because we know approximately how quickly websites in general are increasing the number of stumbles, the number of delicious bookmarks, the number of Facebook shares, likes, etc., that they're getting over time, and so we're able to use that information to calculate a new total. It does spread the costs out, but it also increases the requirements, so that ups the price a little bit. You can see we've gone from 50 some odd thousand incoming backlinks to 63,000 incoming backlinks, so that we know the competition is going to be a little tougher 3 years from now as opposed to 1 year from now, and so we have to account for that. So you can't take that price and simply divide it by 3. You have to account for the increase in requirements associated with a campaign in order to price accurately. Okay, so 35,000, we can go down to 1 month. We're at 971,000, almost $1 million, holy crap. And then you can also change the match type at any given point in time too. You can go to exact match, you can do broad match, same thing. Okay, last thing on keyword intelligence is the previous results tab over here. You can select this and go back to any of your previous reports, select them, hit generate report, and see any of your old data. Okay, that's keyword intelligence. I hope that you enjoy it. Please stay up to date with this particular tool. We have several upgrades to it scheduled over the next few months.